This is for anyone out there who likes a visual, likes a book with pictures, if you will. Imagine a baby elephant tied up to a fence with a rope. Now, as a baby elephant, it will pull and tug on the rope, but it can't go anywhere. So eventually it makes peace with its fate that it is forever stuck to this fence. So the elephant grows up. It is now this gargantuous animal tied by a tiny rope connected to a flimsy fence. And this animal is so strong, it could easily walk away. Easily. But it genuinely believes that it can't. That the rope is unbreakable, that the fence is unmovable. So the elephant falsely believes it can never get away from this situation. Limiting beliefs will keep you from applying for that dream job, going after a relationship that you want, leaving a relationship that you don't want, moving to a new city or a new state. A limiting belief will absolutely keep you from making the amount of money that you actually deserve to make. So how do you identify your limiting beliefs? Do you have any desires? I'm sure you do. You want to start a business of your own. You want to advance in your career. You want more authentic friendships. You want to find genuine, unconditional love. Maybe you've always had a desire to learn to play the piano or the guitar, or learn a new language. Each and every one of us have desires for our lives. So what's stopping you? Well, the answer to that question is usually an excuse. And that excuse can usually lead you right to your limiting belief. And one of the things that you genuinely, truthfully need to take a real honest look at are your limiting beliefs and how they are holding you back from the life that you want to live. And we have to examine each and every one of them to see, is this actually true? Or is this just something that maybe was passed down generation after generation, or that I just falsely picked up through childhood, just through environments that I was in? Let me look at each one of these and see if those ring true to me or not. Because these limiting beliefs, they affect every single area of your life and they hold you back. I myself grew up in a very, very conservative Christian environment. I was highly expected to be a good girl. People even referred to me as a good girl. I was led to believe things like people who drank were bad people. People who smoked were bad people. People who had sex before marriage were bad people. None of that is true. None of that is true. None of that is true. Can you imagine if I actually still believed that today? And I don't shame myself for it or think I'm such an idiot back then or whatever. That's the environment that I was raised in. But can you imagine if I still, at 40 years old, believed those things? Can you even imagine? So this is what I mean. You've got to look at your limiting beliefs and really take a good look at them, because in a way it's silly that you still believe these things. So when you feel yourself making an excuse for something that you actually desire or you want in your life, or you even just dream about, I want you to ask yourself, what if this isn't actually true? And finally, I want you to test these limiting beliefs. You will continue to live from a place of confusion until you take action, because action is the only thing that truly gives us clarity. You identify your limiting belief. You admit that there's a possibility that you could be wrong about that belief. You test it out in the real world. Most of the time, you're going to see that you were wrong about the limiting belief, that it is not serving you in any way. This is just an example. Children will be messed up if their parents divorce. That is a belief that I used to have. Absolutely. No one in my family is divorced. I 1000% believed that. What I now know is children want a parent to model truth. Children know when you're faking it. Children read energy better than anybody. And children learn primarily through energy osmosis through the age of 12. So if you think they can't pick up on what's really going on, you're wrong. You're wrong. I have had so many adults reach out to me and tell me they knew that their parents weren't happy. And they've said that to me. They've said, I mean, that's just so much pressure. We're going to stay together for the kids. Like, they don't want that burden of, wait a minute, you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life because of me? I don't want that. I want you to be happy and I want you to model that for me. So that is a limiting belief that I had to take a real hard look at and be like, do I believe this to be true? What if separating actually makes me a better mom, makes Brian a better dad, makes us better at our jobs, makes us better as human beings? There's no such thing as one-sided liberation. This is going to be better for everybody, especially our children. So yeah, that was one that I had to really sit with and go, Yeah, that one, I don't believe that one anymore. And guess what we did? We tested that limiting belief. And guess what happened? Brian, who had been living in a state of depression for about 6 years and was so mentally ill he could not get a job, 1 month after we decided to separate, he got an amazing job. And 1 year later, there were 3 people in his company that received an award. He was one of them. I talked to him yesterday and he is up for a promotion. So yeah, we tested that limiting belief and that one proved to not ring so true. It takes a willingness to want to grow and self-awareness to consider that we may have been wrong in what we initially believed. And it takes real courage to go out there in the world and see if you're wrong or not.